This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/Wondery.
Looking for your best sleep ever? Sleep Number smart beds are literally made for you. They adapt to your changing needs. So whether you're dealing with sore muscles or running hot at night, your bed automatically adjusts for optimal comfort. Want softer, firmer, cooler, warmer? With personalized firmness settings and temperature control that cools up to 20 times faster than leading competitors, you'll get the perfect sleep environment every night. Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? So you can choose your ideal comfort on either side. And now it's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event, up to 50% off, limited time, exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. See store or sleepnumber.com for details.
This is Reusse. You've been hearing my friend Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, for years on the radio and Garage Logic podcast. With the new year approaching, I strongly recommend you sit down with Josh for your no-cost, no-obligation, 48-minute consultation on your investments, including your IRA and 401k. You can benefit from Josh's years of experience navigating different market and economic conditions, and he'll always give you straight talk and not sugar-coated advice. Give Josh a call now at 952-925-5608 to book your no-cost, no-obligation 48-minute consultation. That's 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did, and tell him Reusse sent you. Don't forget to ask, why is it 48 minutes, Josh?
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Patrick Reusse is a paid endorser. Let's start with the waning days of your sports writing career. You had occasion to be around the great Billy Slick Gardner.
Yep.
Who I would not have guessed would ever make it to 96 with his love of chewing tobacco, if nothing else, and his love of beer. But a wonderful character, one of my all-time favorites. And I've been feeling sad about sports writing ever since, just because thinking of the way we just had the run of the place in the early 80s. When if you wanted to talk to Slick, you just showed up and walked in the office, and you wandered around the clubhouse. And if Slick had to make out the lineup, it'd be done in 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. We didn't have to have 2.5 hours of consultations with people.
How did his death go so unnoticed?
I don't know. He died, and I don't think they posted an obit in out in Connecticut. They posted it on legacy.com like sometime Saturday, probably. Yeah. He died on Wednesday, but he was 96. His wife's still living. He was married 71 years.
Really?
And that was his second wife. He got married real young, and he had a kid like in 1945 when he was 18. Obviously, he got frisky with somebody in high school. And anyway,
as recently as he was manager, he didn't make any money.
Oh, God, no.
He had to work in the winter. He sold hot dogs.
Yeah, sold stuff, tube steaks.
Yeah.
He was a tube steak salesman. And he ended up working for that outfit for a long time. But his son, Billy Jr., became a minor league manager. He managed Beloit last year from
I didn't know
Billy
that.
Jr. But several times in the last 20 years, I called the house and Billy was hanging around. And when the kid answered the phone, you were swear to God you were talking to
the old man.
Slick. Same New England.
Well, the kid's got to be what, 50s now?
Oh God, yes, probably. Yeah, the kid is. But he was a beauty boy. He was
Did he ever play in the major leagues?
Oh God, yeah, yeah. He was the Twins' second baseman in their first ever game.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
New York, but he didn't stay very long.
Yeah.
But he rode the bench for the 1954 Giants when they won the World Series, and he was fairly young then. And he wasn't that young. He was 20. He was backup infielder, and then he was on another World Series winner or some dang place. But he was always kind of the.
He had rings. He had rings.
Yeah, he had 1 year where he was when the Baltimore Orioles first came to Baltimore and they were terrible. He was like the MVP of the '59 Orioles or something. Not with that great of numbers, but it was something I discovered that when reading one of the long profiles of him.
61 Yankees.
What?
That's what it says here.
61 Yankees.
That's when he won.
Yeah,
They beat the Reds.
He got very few at bats that year. That was back when if you were an extra infielder, you might not play for 3 weeks.
Sure.
And but he was a guy that. There's just some inappropriate remarks that probably wouldn't work well in the clubhouse these days. Things that get out there, not sexual in nature, but just like he didn't have a deep understanding of what Jim Eisenreich was going through.
No,
he did not. He did not. He had some ideas for a cure that probably wouldn't work too well.
Will the Twins acknowledge this in any way?
I
wonder.
think they would have sent out a release today, probably. Now that it became public, they usually do a pretty good job on those. He was the oldest living twin.
Yeah.
Now Al Worthington is the oldest living twin, married to my cousin Shirley.
See, now he's nervous.
Yes, right.
You don't want to be the oldest living twin.
The oldest man in the world never lasts long.
No, the guy that's really nervous is the guy after Worthington.
Yeah.
Whoever that is.
That might be. Is it Jim? Is it Cut?
No, he's...
Because Cut's 82, isn't he?
Yeah, but we're talking 90s
That's
here.
true.
There's some
That's
guys.
true.
There's some
Remember,
guys.
Pat,
Dick
100 years ain't what it used
Dick
to be.
Stigman is close to 90, I think.
Okay.
Dick Stigman would be. But Big Al was is that old. But Billy, they're having fantasy camp. And I talked to Laudner yesterday, and he was down there, and they were all surprised. And then they were saying, Brunansky said, he must be in his 90s. And Laudner and Frankie were saying, no. And he said, and Brunansky said, he was our first manager.
Right.
Right. We're old now.
We're old.
Yeah. So they did figure out that, Slick he wasn't a young guy when he got the managerial job, but he was one of my all-time favorites. And he looked like he could have been the guy competing with James Dean in Rebel Without a Cause, and he could have played. He had the long hair and
My calculator's not working.
Yeah.
This is 2024.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
Minus
100.
96
yes,
equals 1928.
he was born.
See, to me, a guy that
1927.
old should have been born in the 1800s. See, 100 years ain't what it used to
No, it
be.
ain't. No, it's not.
1928.
Well, so his tenure, that was early in my Twins, observing
I would
days.
say you were barely born.
Well, I was 7 or 8, but I was paying attention. So we only had Ray as manager for about a year?
Yeah, a little over a year. 1980, Gene, to the surprise of both of us, gets up and goes back to California, I think, on August 24th. And Johnny Gorel comes in from the third base coach to be the manager, and somehow this collection of crap wins 12 straight games in September.
Yeah.
So they give Johnny the job. Johnny didn't want the job. He took the money, but Johnny was the most really nice guy, but timid and didn't want to deal with the media, couldn't talk to you when you asked him questions. So, but now they make him a manager for 81, so they needed a third base coach, so that's how Slick got in here.
Okay.
And then Johnny was 11-24, and they fired him, and Billy got the job in 81, and that was a terrible team, but we had the strike, so that year was split up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
81 was the year of the strike. So
They had 2 seasons, right?
two seasons. Last year at the Met.
Now, 81 was the first year in the Dome?
No. Last year at Met.
Last year at the Met, that's right.
And the season was split up, and they And then they go into the Dome, the new stadium, the shiny new ballpark. Calvin gives him to April 10th and then starts trading everybody. Smalley, Weininger, Corbett, who else he traded? Anybody making more than $500 he got rid of. And April 10th was when we got RD. And I wrote a blog piece for him for online for this morning, but this is so...
Slick lived to be 96 with RD.
With RD.
With RD.
I said, I would have said RD took years off his life, but he made it to 96. But his one-liners about RD never ceased. So now, 85, they fire him, and he goes and he coached some year. And then Dick Hauser, remember him? Kansas, he gets brain cancer. Gets brain cancer, so they hire Slick to be the manager. Mm-hmm. I go up to see him in 87. In Clearwater and just stay sitting down there beside him, and they bring in this right-handed kid, this 6'7" Kansas City kid named John Davis, and he's throwing hard. And I said, I'm just talking to him. He's standing on the steps, and I'm sitting there. I said, what do you think of this kid? He said, I like him. I think he's really good. But what do you think the odds of me having a tall right-hander named Davis on my team again?
Right.
He's got no chance.
No shot.
He's got no chance. He's the best one, though. Were you in Cleveland when they that weekend when they still had a chance and they blew the
What year?
84.
No.
Because they had a chance. Oh, that's right. You switched. Yeah. But they still got a chance in the rotten AL West. They go to Cleveland for 4 games. They're ahead 3-0 going into the bottom of the 8th, and Smithson leaves and RD can't get them out, and they score 3 runs, so it's 3-3. And Twins don't score at the top of the 9th. Bottom of the 9th, Jamie Quirk comes up. The pinch hit. Jamie Quirk has been with Cleveland for like 2 weeks, but never had an at-bat. And he only had one at-bat in his history. So Gardner himself goes out to talk to RD and says, don't throw him a fastball. All he hits is fastball. Before Gardner's back in the dugout, Davis throws him a fastball. Jamie Quirk hits a home run. And he was fuming after that game like you could believe. And then the next day's the game where they were ahead 10-0 and got beat 11-10.
Wow.
With Frankie pitching. That's where he says, hard to throw the ball at first base when you got your hands around your throat.
Oh, what a great quote.
He made a big error. It was, but they all loved Slick, but he was not a modern manager. You know, he
wasn't a modern manager by the '80s standards.
I saw a quote from him: the 2 words he hates most in baseball are communication and motivation. Says if you're in the big leagues and I got to communicate to motivate you, we're
going to have problems.
So that's not.
He could not handle today's ball player.
I don't think Derek.
You're saying he and Rocco might have different philosophies.
Well, I think Rocco could have been a character back then, I think, but now he's trained in the ways of modern baseball, where you got to have a 3-hour meeting to come up with your lineup. So you got to have a 3-hour meeting to come up with your lineup to suggest maybe you shouldn't play Joey Gallo in September.
That reminds me. I love Joe's quote from years ago saying he doesn't understand the economics of baseball. Joe, have you seen the Los Angeles Dodgers payroll after signing, is it Teoscar Hernandez?
It was, they gave him $3.5 million.
Was it up to?
No. They gave him $24 million for one season.
Really?
With I believe.
I thought he only made. I thought I saw $24 million for that stiff.
$24 million.
He can strike out with the best of them.
They are now projected to have a payroll of north of $308 million.
I don't understand it.
And how are we going to pay the? Are we going to get the luxury tax out of it?
Oh yes, we are going
now
to.
They've just decided to hell.
They said to hell with it. We're going to blow past it. Wow. We don't care.
Wow.
308.
Well, they avoided the luxury tax on Ohtani, didn't they?
Well, no, about 45 of the 75 million or 70 million will count against them. So,
but now that I know it's a tax dodge, now I'm all for it. The Ohtani deferred money. since he's getting around paying
He wants
California
to pay
sales
Japan.
tax or income tax.
Japan,
Excuse me.
he wants to pay tax in Japan.
Man.
Anyway, yeah, I did not know. I didn't know they gave him that.
It just happened. It just happened yesterday.
He's not that good.
I don't think so either.
Okay, he strikes out 1,000 times.
Are you surprised that our Vikes are done?
No, not at all.
No.
But I'm all in on Nick Mullins
Really?
as the new backup.
Oh.
Because I want the rookie, whoever they can draft, I
Sure.
want the rookie. But this guy is a crazy, lovable guy, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He just wings it. I compared him today to the Black Knight at the bridge in Monty Python. It's just a flesh wound. He throws an interception. It's just a flesh wound. He's throwing it all over the place. God, he threw for 800 yards in 2 games against the Lions.
Right.
Just throws it any damn place. I had no idea because he played a little bit for San Francisco, right?
Yeah, a few
years
games.
ago.
Yep.
I had no idea he was this goofball, though. He's like,
Well, you know who his idol
press
is?
conferences are great.
You know who his idol is?
Brett
Favre.
Well, yeah, just throw it.
Just
Something
chuck
good
it up
might
there.
happen. Except he doesn't have Brett's cannon.
No, he does not.
He's a guy. He's a guy that he thinks he's great, but he doesn't have that much zip on the ball.
Would you take Penix?
Yes, I'd take Penix.
He's got the bad knees, according to Reavers.
I know he's got the bad knees. That's okay.
He is, but I will say this: he's a hell of a quarterback.
Mm-hmm. I want a rookie. I don't want to pay Kirk. You got to keep Jefferson, and they're going to get rid of Hunter is what's going to happen.
They also have to pay Darisaw, and left tackles aren't cheap. So,
They got to pay him already?
well, I think next year is his. Not next year, but next year is last year of
Boy,
his
he
rookie
must have been
contract.
beat up the last month because he was not nearly as good.
Green Bay's the youngest team. Chicago's the third youngest. Chicago and Green Bay, I predict, are going to run the North Central
Well,
Division.
and you got
Detroit.
Detroit.
What did I say?
Our Vikes,
Detroit is, yeah.
Our Vikes are now clearly the 4th best team in the 4-team division.
Yeah.
I looked it up though. I love tales of Lions futility,
There's quite a few.
So they went 7-1-1 the first 5 years against the Vikings. Into the middle of the 65 season, the Lions had, the expansion Vikes, they were 1-7-1. Since then, the Vikings are 79, 36-1 against Detroit, and this was only in 115 games. This was only Detroit's 4th 3-game winning streak against the Vikings, and it's the most that they've. 3 in a row is the most they've won in 115 games against the Vikings.
Who's their GM right now in Detroit?
What is that guy's name? He's pretty good though.
They just showed him on TV
He must
yesterday.
be, because they had, among their follies was a history of bad GMs.
Oh God, terrible draft. Well, they were all drinking buddies of Bill Ford for years. What was his name? Russ, whatever.
Brad Holmes is the name of the Detroit general manager.
They had Russ Thomas.
Yep.
Was the drinking buddy of Bill Ford, and he made some very odd choices, to say the least. You look at it, though, the wins and losses of the two teams. I mean, as I say, Ticey and Childress were 16-1 against Detroit. 16.
Wow.
Ticey was 8-0, and Chili was 8-1.
How was Zim? Zim had to have a decent
Zim
record.
was okay, but Zim lost to him twice one year.
Oh, that's true.
Early on,
the 16 season, you're right.
Not very many seasons we've managed to lose to those mutts twice.
Yep.
Did you see what the NFL did to the Taylor Swift fans?
No.
They put the Miami-Kansas City game Saturday night on Peacock.
Oh, really?
So you got to buy it, or you either already have it, or you got to buy it.
I'm going to guess a lot of the Swifties have the
Doesn't
Peacock.
Peacock come in free? Isn't it
No,
free?
it's a subscription-based service, much like
Well, we
Amazon,
got it.
except it's a lot cheaper.
We have it. I don't know why we have it or how we have it, but we got it.
Yeah, you got
We
it.
got it,
You
too.
can get it.
Yeah.
We got it. But you still have cable?
Yeah.
No, you can still have cable.
Yeah.
It's free on cable.
Oh, no.
Is it?
I think so.
Well, all I know is we got it.
Wait, are we in technology
It's on.
corner?
I don't know.
I hate that.
I got it too, and I couldn't find the Gopher game for about not yesterday, but the one before that. I didn't know where the hell it was.
There was a great tweet I saw, and it reminded me of you two, and it was a guy I follow, and he's a huge baseball fan. It says, me trying to watch the Mets in 2024, and there was a screen with like 700 different, subscription-based services that he was going to need to subscribe to just to watch baseball.
We still don't know what we're going to have to watch the Twins.
No, that's just it.
What are we waiting for?
Which would affect also the Wild.
Well, yes.
And the Timberwolves.
The Wild and the Wolves are both good for the rest of
this
2024,
season.
but then nobody knows what happens.
Oh, yeah, that'll only take you through next fall.
Yeah, they'd go into next fall.
Right.
We don't. The Twins might have to come crawling back to BSN though, and for half as much money.
Oof.
Why don't you pause?
Well, first,
let's do something else.
I'm going to need to hear from. Yeah, okay, that's fine. We can do that as well. Mm-hmm. I just need to hear from the Valley Group, and then we can pause.
I just need about 5 more minutes to get my thoughts straight on the Valley Group. We got to talk about another topic.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Well, then I can help you. Mm-hmm. Over the weekend, no golf tournament ever got shorter shrift in both newspapers than Century out in Maui.
What happened to the Tournament of Champions?
I think that's it. This is it, isn't it?
We had 60 players in it.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to be a champion anymore.
I don't know. I thought this was only for winners.
You don't have 59 winners. You don't have that many tournaments. They did something to it.
I don't know, but I love watching that golf course.
Boy, they tear it up, though.
Oh,
this,
28 under, 29 under.
Hollis, the first year of the three-year open, he got Morikawa, Matthew Wolff, and Hovland, right? And that was his plan, to get these young collegiate guys who were just turning pro. The next year he got this Thigala, who's a hell of a player too. He's turning into a terrific player. But now Rory didn't show up for this. He
did not. Mm-hmm. And Rahm, of course, did not.
No, he did not. How about them not voting Rahm the Player of the Year for the PGA?
Yeah.
He won 4 times. They voted Stricker, who won twice? Not Stricker. Scotty Scheffler. Yeah, who had a great year, but he only won twice.
Now you've been on Maui.
Yes, I have.
Okay, where is
times.
the course in relation to Lanai, the town that burned down?
Not that far away. A little down the road and up on top of the hill. Not that far away. I don't think it can't be over 5 miles. I can't.
Now, and the other thing, when you're on 18, you're looking out across the ocean, you see another body of land. Mm-hmm. Is that a different island, or is that part of Maui?
It might be Molokai. I don't know.
Oh, I've never been there. I got to go there.
I've been there.
Oh, you've been there many times.
I've been there many times. I've been there. We've stayed in Maui, I think, 3 of the times we stayed in Maui, and then a couple of times, which I like better, stayed on Oahu. And then one year we stayed out at the Big Island.
That's Honolulu.
No, the Maui.
Isn't the Big Island have the city of Honolulu?
No, the Big Island's got Hilo.
Where in the hell's Honolulu?
Honolulu is on Oahu.
But isn't that the capital of the deal?
Yes.
Well, isn't that where all the people are in Oahu?
Yeah, there's a lot of them on Maui, too. Used to be before the fire, anyway. And it's I liked. Here, my big mistake was, now Kauai's more of the wild island. Mm-hmm. And the wife and they had the hurricane there, right? But we went about a year later because she found this great deal. Mm-hmm. So we got there in December, and we found out why it was a great deal. That was the side of the island where it always rains every day in December. It was raining. And then you'd go play golf, and you'd play 3 holes,
right?
And then it would pour for like 20 minutes, and you'd sit there in the cart like this, and it'd pound rain on you, and then you'd play 3 more holes, and then it'd rain again because the rain kept coming in on the whatever they call that damn thing.
Well, like across the ocean.
It was a hell of a deal. And then, you ever see the movie South Pacific?
Yes.
We're sitting, going to this fish restaurant above where they filmed most of South Pacific.
All right.
On Kauai there.
Yep.
I mean, fantastic.
Yeah.
Worst crap fish I've ever eaten in my life.
Really?
It was black from being frozen for so damn long.
Oh, no.
It was awful. My trip to Kauai was very
Doesn't sound
disappointing.
good.
Very disappointing.
Doesn't sound good.
Between rain and then they said there was this some type of rare sparrow. You get to see, this is one of the glowing things in the pamphlet. There were millions of them. They were all over. They were trying to get in the house. There were thousands of the rare sparrow. It was somebody come and poison these sparrows. It was awful.
All right, you got your thoughts collected yet?
Yeah, my thoughts are collected.
All right.
I should, instead of going to Maui, instead of going to Kauai, I should have made a down payment on a new car.
There you go.
Here, what a transition.
Brett Paul's Valley Group of GM dealers. The holidays are over, but the great deals are still in place. 0.9% interest rate for the trucks, which Such informs me are GMC trucks.
That's
right. And then we also have the 1.9 and some other vehicles if you qualify. I was at the granddaughter's hockey game yesterday out in Burnsville, and I saw a little Buick SUV that I could almost fit into my garage. It was a small one, but you can get the hockey equipment in the back. Cute little bugger and not too long. So go check that one out. I wish I knew. I should have looked up what the name of that was, right, if I'm going to do this ad. But I have bought my last 5 or 6 cars.
Is it an Encore?
Relatives have some car, and I think it's smaller than an Encore. I don't know what it was. Might have been an Encore.
You're talking the little Buick SUV.
Little Buick SUV.
That would fit in your garage, by the way.
Little, very beautiful little thing. I'm going to have to check that out. Anyway, Jim Paul, Brett Paul, Valley Group of GM dealers, Apple Valley, Hastings. Would I have bought all these cars from them if I didn't think they were great?
No.
Reavers, would have you bought a used car from them?
No, heavens no. They're the best.
Okay, thank you. Pause.
Unpause. Now we're good. We're good.
Unpause. Okay.
Okay, you got the Wilder playing tonight.
Yes, sir.
Who we got?
You're at Dallas. No, I'm sorry. You're home to Dallas.
That was an important. I think they're home quite a bit, aren't they?
No, they're home. This is a home with Dallas.
They're that was an important victory in Columbus. I think,
was.
Right.
Then Wednesday they're at Dallas. Then they're home to Philly and Arizona Friday, Saturday.
Arizona has Logan Cooley on the team, the 19-year-old phenom from the Gophers last year. And,
don't they also have Zucker, the Arizona?
Is he there now?
I thought he signed with
right?
those guys as well.
A guy submitted a name to me for the professional women's hockey team.
Okay.
The Babes. Now think about it for a minute.
That's not going to happen.
No, but think about it for a minute. You're picking up Minnesota, Babe, the Blue Ox, the whole deal. But yeah, I wouldn't pass the feminist BS.
No, it won't.
But can you imagine the T-shirt sales?
I'm getting a lot of suggestions. North Stars.
No, I like Babes.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
It's not bad, but
no one would have the guts to do it.
No. We used to. What did we? What were the Blue Ox? We had the Blue Ox.
We
in
did.
Town. What
was
were they?
That was the.
It wasn't a hockey team.
Yeah,
I'm going to look that up.
Damn thing. We had the.
Was it
Blue Ox.
Minneapolis or Minnesota? Blue Ox.
I can't remember.
I'll look it up.
And Bunions wouldn't work.
No,
That's
Bunions
kind of a
wouldn't
bad
work. Yeah,
name.
it would. I think. You know what?
They'll end up with something precious.
You know who's a big advisor to this league? The great Jack Sperling.
Oh, yeah?
Who's the smartest sports marketing guy ever. And
roller hockey was our Minnesota Blue Ox. Yep.
They came and went.
Yes, they did.
But
who's behind the Minnesota team?
The one guy owns the whole franchise.
Oh, the whole league, you mean?
The owner of the Dodgers is financing this.
The Kastner or whatever his name is?
No, whoever the owner of the Dodgers.
Oh, okay.
The guy that just spent $600 billion on Japanese.
Do you like the term that you always hear from athletes? The word dream drives me crazy. I've been dreaming of this.
Oh, really?
And all these girls are saying, I've been dreaming. You know, I've won some stuff in my life. I've
Mark
never once
Walter.
had a dream about it. It's dreams are driving me crazy. This was my dream to be in this game. You really dreamed that? I don't think so.
Well, I think they might have dreamed of having 12, 13,000 people watch him play.
That's a dream.
That's
a world record.
Yeah, I know.
Mark Walter is your owner of the Dodgers from Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
And I think they're going to then try to get other people to be in charge of the franchise. But poor Darwitz, Natalie Darwitz, who's running the franchise, great kid, not a kid anymore, but a great kid.
Person.
She had her coach, and then the coach quit. The first coach quit about a month ago, right?
Oh.
Because he had family obligations. His wife got prego, and he had, I don't know. Then she had another coach who came in, and he had to. So they had like a week to find a coach. They called this guy she knew in Houston. He drove up here through the snow and got here. He was supposed to go to Puerto Rico on a vacation with his wife. And they went there. The wife and her friends went to Puerto Rico. He drove up here and coached the team on about 3 days' notice.
Well, let's get Evison. He's got nothing to do.
That's what we could have done.
Why not get Dean?
He'd scare the hell out of those women.
Could have got Dean, but
where are the Babes going to play their home games?
At XL's Energy Center.
Well, they sold 13,000.
Yeah.
Well, that ain't going to happen again.
No.
That was a one-timer on a Saturday afternoon.
My granddaughter was there. She was pretty, it was fun, you know. Although,
plus they beat hated Montreal.
Yeah. And she said, I thought they'd be faster. I said, okay. You're a critic. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I guess it's pretty astounding that they could pack, no matter how much it was costing you to get in. It was $19 for the club seats or something. But
sure.
But hell, what'd you expect when they announced it? 2,000.
I didn't know they were going to have the X as their home rink.
Well, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's great. Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's good.
It is.
Yeah. The Babes.
I don't like those chances, Joe.
No, I don't like that because people would not interpret it in a proper way. But let's see. We could go back to remember when we had the first women's basketball team?
What were they?
The Phillies.
That's right.
We could do that.
Spelled with an F.
Yeah, the Phillies, yeah. Yeah, because we were doing it like on horses.
Right.
But
yeah, that's right.
Yes.
I don't know. As opposed to the Phillies in Philadelphia.
They're going to have some kind of a deal, you know. The Emeralds or some damn thing. I don't know what it'll be. I hope. You know what I want? I don't care what it is. I want an S.
Want an S?
I don't want Aurora.
You want an S.
You want plural.
An S.
Yes.
I want plural.
Yeah.
I don't want wild. Okay, we have.
You don't want to be the geese.
No.
The goose.
No. I want an S.
Yeah.
Whatever.
How about the United?
Oh.
No. Wouldn't that guy be a candidate to own the team?
McGuire?
Yeah.
I don't think they need an owner. I don't know.
I don't know how it works. I have no idea. Why is it set up the same way with the WNBA? Does Leopold have some type of interest in the
Leopold? You mean?
Well, like with the NBA,
Taylor owns the links.
That's what I'm saying. Is it
100%?
Is this not affiliated at all with the NHL?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think the Wild are helping promote, and
but they're completely separate,
cooperating with them. But yeah, I'm sure they're fine with them to have the arena full on the arena having people in it. It'd be interesting how the second game draws, but it's pretty amazing. They're letting them check, I guess. I didn't think they were.
They're home to Toronto Wednesday.
Ooh.
Home to New York Sunday. That's it on their schedule. There's no away games. They never play away games.
Well, they played an away game to open their year.
In Boston?
I don't think they've given up a goal yet, have they? I don't know.
Gopher basketball team should go mentioned.
Yes,
we should mention
them. There was a story, Marcus's story Sunday before the game had their scanned ticket totals. Did you happen to see that?
Oh, I did not.
They had, was it 11 home games, including the Big Ten one against Nebraska, and they had not scanned as many as 4,000 tickets for any of them, even Nebraska.
Wow.
Now, yesterday they announced 8,700 and might have had, I don't know. I wasn't there, so they might have had 6,000 or 7,000. But boy, they got a long hole to climb out of.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
They beat Michigan.
Yes, they beat Michigan.
Beat Maryland.
I've got a bit of advice for them.
Okay, they're not bad.
Quit charging what you're charging.
Yeah,
that's their problem.
Part of the good thing with the crowd yesterday was that they all of a sudden had to go to the game for $15 tickets.
That's what they need to start doing.
Their problem is, right.
Your demand is nothing right now, especially for your non-conference schedule.
Their worst schedule. There's this statistical guy, Ken Palm, that the NCAA uses. 352 teams. He rated the Gophers' schedule 352nd.
Wow.
Now, that's something based on who you should be playing.
Projections and what, yes.
As a Big Ten team and who you actually played. But they're in a situation where going an 11-9 in the Big Ten and not doing anything in the tournament, they probably won't get to go to the NCAA tournament because their strength of schedule is so awful.
They're not, wow.
But they're better. This Farrell Payne, that kid will go to the basket and leave you bruised up if you get in the way. He's the second coming of Courtney James.
But are they going to end up becoming the place where kids will come here, play for a year, and then they're going to hit the portal?
We don't know yet, but we certainly should worry about that.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Will Belichick end his career?
I think he'll end his career in New England, but he might be available for another. Although, did Washington hire? They fired their guy today.
Did you hear who Washington? Yes, they did. They fired Ron Rivera. Did you hear who they hired, though?
No.
We hired, I forget, the former...
consultant.
The Warriors GM to oversee operations along with our guy, Rick Spielman.
And Rick Spielman to find a new general manager.
He is going to scan the globe.
Rick's going to scan the globe and say, the only guy I can find is me. Yeah. Give me a job. Give me a job. Rick will find himself as a candidate. Rick's got a lot of lives to him, that's for sure.
Well, Belichick, his problem is he has nothing else to do. You cut him loose now. He's just going to sit on a bench.
Did you ever watch the NFL story of him?
No, you told me about it.
They're trying to make him look like he has other things in the world. So he goes out and plays 9 holes of golf in street shoes.
Yeah.
And he's hitting it this kind of blustery day out on the water, and he's hitting it. And it's like you never saw a guy look more bored in his life, trying to hit it. But is he 70 now?
He's got to be.
70.
He's got to be.
Yeah.
Well, his whole bit is to catch Shula and pass Shula, right? Isn't that what his?
Yeah. Somebody will hire him. Somebody will hire him, won't they?
I don't know.
I would think Washington would be the place for him, but I don't know. He wants to go someplace where he got a chance to win, though, right? He doesn't want to go through this again.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, they're terrible. God, they're awful. Your Bills, though, look out, baby. You might be driving to Buffalo.
it was funny because I was watching it with the 12-year-old who's now the world's biggest Josh Allen fan. And end of the third quarter, Dolphins are up the Bills can't make any more mistakes, right? Yes. They stopped him at the 1 yard line right before halftime. Allen throws 2 picks. Third quarter ends, and he looks at me and says, Dad, I'm going to bed. I don't want to watch this anymore, and I'm tired. And I said, Are you sure? This is the last quarter of the season. So then he gets up. The first thing he wants to know is how the game went last night. And I said, well, they came back. I should have woke you up.
What were they at 3 quarters? Because I was watching a horrible movie for
14-7. The Dolphins were clinging to a lead, but Buffalo returned the punt, and the game completely flipped.
I forgot that during that game I could have clicked to the Timberwolves.
Yeah,
you are a Timberwolves super fan.
Well, I'm very knowledgeable.
Yes.
They had a 6-point lead with 3-4 minutes to go and got beat. I didn't watch any of that either because I was watching Eileen. I'm sure as hell not going to watch a
psychological
thriller.
That's a bad sign right there.
1995 plus tax.
Was this movie in the theaters?
No, it was on.
No, I know, but it wasn't in the theaters.
If it was, it came and went.
Yeah.
If it was, nobody knew it.
Awful.
Any good parts?
No, God, not even a hint. Who's in there? The gal that's had some good parts in the past. What the hell's her name?
All right, I'll look it up. What's it called? Eileen?
I've never heard of this.
Eileen.
Did the DA
thriller.
like it?
No, she didn't even like it.
Oh.
She had to admit.
Well, at least she admitted she didn't
said,
like it.
Okay, you were right.
Yeah.
I said, it's too late now.
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway was in it.
All
There
right.
has been past movies.
I'm a big fan of Anne.
Anne's, you know.
Anne's had roles where
She's
you.
had
Yes.
roles, yes. Yeah, you know, you could be distracted, but not this one.
I was informing the
It
mayor.
had to be about an hour and 20 minutes, too. It was terrible.
Just
See, I
terrible.
like that.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
too bad it wasn't any good.
Yes. For that, I kept saying, it's retail. Let's wait.
Patrick, I was
Should be down to $5.95 here in about 3
Is
days.
is the Oppenheimer available at home yet?
Yes.
It should
But
be.
you pay, right?
I'm not sure. It's probably been put on the pay because it won.
It's not gonna be much though now.
No,
No.
$6.95.
Anything beats, going to a theater and some poor mother's there with a 2-year-old because she doesn't have any place to take the
Can
kid.
I call you an ambulance?
Yeah.
Oppenheimer, especially Oppenheimer. It's 3.5, Joe.
Yeah, you got to be at home to get up.
Yeah, right.
Walk
That's going to be
around.
like the college football game tonight, 3.5 hours.
I liked Oppenheimer. Much better than Flower Moon,
Yeah.
which Martin, God love him, took some nice 5-minute scenes and turned them into like 25 minutes, So it was about 3.5 hours.
I like a 90-minute movie. They don't
You
even
can't find
exist.
many of those anymore.
Yeah,
What
the
was
one you
it?
just watched and hated did. Eileen.
Yeah.
You want a good 90-minute
Yes.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she got in the truck, and we haven't solved the movie yet.
Yeah.
We haven't solved what happened. She gets out hitchhiking, and the guy picks her up, and I said, these bleepers are going to end it right here. It's over. They're never going to tell us, even after we invested there's time in it. They're not going to tell us what happened.
It's a
one of
the
those
things.
cute endings.
It's one of the things that's great about these series on Netflix is they aren't long. Each episode is about even less
minutes.
than an hour.
Yeah.
Like Slow Horse or Slough House.
Horses.
Slow Horses. Well, named for Slough House.
We got, but we're done now. This
I'm
year's
only on
over.
season 2.
They only do 6.
6 seasons?
No, 6 shows. in
Per
their
season.
Yeah.
I'm on going to
Fargo this
episode
year's-
3.
Fargo this year is going 10. I was hoping we were watching the last one the other night, but anyway, it is. I tell you what, I got rid of Comcast Xfinity to save money. I think I got every app known to man. I think I'm spending more money, but it comes at you from different directions.
See, you don't see it all in one lump sum.
You don't know where it's coming from, but it's. Why do we have this one, honey?
Well, there's that one show I like.
Yeah, I watched a series there 9 years ago or some damn thing. So, I don't know. The only good thing is, on the Game of Flaws, I was able to put a little nick in the standings.
Yeah.
With this one. But,
You have a game in hand.
yeah.
You know what, though? It was treated with reluctance to give you that nick.
Eileen, it's, she had to admit that Eileen
You
stunk.
should have a scorecard.
Yeah.
It would be one side would be like this and the other would be one little mark over on the other.
It'd be like the Oakland A's chasing,
Yes, right.
the Houston Astros.
Yeah, right. Lions playoff victories.
It's only 65 games back.
Do you know, Joe, that the Detroit Lions are seeking their second playoff victory since 1957? Mm-hmm. This is impossible.
Wow.
When
It
was
is
the first one? 91?
Barry
Or
was there.
57.
Barry was
No,
there.
91 or 2, but yeah,
Barry
it was one of
there.
those years.
Barry's,
Yeah.
They beat Detroit, Dallas, didn't they?
They beat the Cowboys,
Dallas,
and then they
that
got
was it.
drilled by Washington in the AFC
Yeah, we
Championship.
thought they might
or
be
NFC.
coming here for the
Yep.
Super Bowl.
They've been hapless. Not anymore.
Minneapolis. They had an 0-16. That ain't easy to do. It wasn't Rod Marinelli 1-31. I think he was 1-16 and 1-15.
As one of the teams who's never been to a Super Bowl, aren't we kind of rooting for Detroit?
Sure.
I don't know though because they're a division rival.
Yeah, we don't mind.
rooting
I'd
for
like to see
Detroit.
this. I'd like to see this psycho coach make it because I watching him in action early, I thought this buffoon won't last till midseason. And then remember last year they started 1-6 and they just urinated away about three of those games.
1-10.
Was it 1-10?
Something like that. It was long.
They kicked away game after game. And now all of a sudden he's out there winning. He lost his tight end by using him against the Vikings, but
that was bad too.
Yeah, he's got the ACL. But anyway, I'm rooting for the Lions.
Okay.
I like the Lions.
I am too. They're my club.
And Detroit Don.
Yeah, Detroit Don. It's because of Detroit Don and Superfan that I'm rooting for the Lions.
There you go.
It's because I remember my favorite, I've talked about this, but my favorite moment in any stadium is when they're chasing the guy around the Ford Field in his early years who held up the little sign saying "Fire Millen." Held up a sign like this, as big as the front page of the paper there, folded up, held up, and they were going to take it away from him, and pretty soon they've got security guards chasing the guy all over, and all the fans are helping him, and they're all cheering for the guy as he's running around.
That's wonderful.
And not paying any attention to the dumbass Lions who were getting their ass kicked again.
I thought you were going to mention your favorite Detroit memory was your colleague throwing his writing utensil out of the press box.
That was good, too.
I didn't throw it.
That didn't involve the Lions, though.
That's true.
He waited for the World Championship of Football to do that.
I think it was San Francisco and Cincinnati.
San Francisco and Cincinnati, yes, it was.
It slipped.
It slipped.
Yeah. Well, we were sitting in the same row, but quite a ways down. I said, "What the hell was that?" Oh, poor Joe. His computer locked.
I don't know what happened.
It locked up on me.
That was the last time, and really the only time, that I had writer's block.
Yeah.
Took me an hour to
You
write.
threw him off.
No.
Oh.
Before he threw his computer.
No, it slipped.
For an hour, I couldn't write my lead. And I always have been a guy, who cares what the lead says? I want to have a finish. I don't care about the start.
Sometimes you don't even have a lead till the 10th paragraph.
That's right. More often than not.
Drives me nuts.
As I said, Justin Morneau's TV analysis reminds me of myself as a columnist.
Yeah.
It takes us a long time to get to the point, and sometimes there isn't one. You know? I don't think he took that to. He must have saw it because the next time he saw me, he wasn't too friendly.
I claim I was the fastest, and I liked that.
You were quick.
I was the fastest.
I used to be fast, but I'm not.
But I was supposed to be. We're working for a newspaper.
Yes.
Now you got guys that need a month to write a story. Mm-hmm. You know.
Time to prepare.
Well, you got to have the consultations with the editors.
Yeah. In our place, I don't even know where you'd find it. They're not in a central location.
The good thing is you're on your own.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
of course, I don't have a contract like you do.
No, I got a contract.
I'm just a vendor. I'm selling pop.
I think I have a signed one at home. Should I bring it in and show it to
I mean,
you?
it's nice that you have one. I don't have one. And you just got a new one.
Yeah,
2024.
2020, 2025.
How many years?
Two.
He's got a 2-year contract.
2 years.
Jesus, I
I'll
don't even have
80.
a one.
I'll be 80.
Yeah.
80! Look out, Slick. Here I come.
Here he comes.
All right, let's get to
Good
it.
enough.
Too much entertainment.